Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is the fundamental explanation for verses 36 to 42. Yusuf alayhi salam has been sent to prison, and during his stay there, by his good mannerisms, his noble conduct, his piety, he has influenced the people around him, and people are not only impressed by him, but they see him as a person that they can turn to for help, for advice, and for knowledge. There are a couple of inmates that approach Yusuf alayhi salam with these same sentiments and feelings. They present a dream to him, and in response to their request for the interpretation, Yusuf alayhi salam mentions a few points. First, he clarifies his competence in this, that he is in fact the right person to ask. Then he mentions the source of this knowledge, and then he identifies who he is. He tells them that he is completely dissociated from the paths and the ways of shirk. He is a follower of his forefathers, Ibrahim, Ishaq, Yaqub alayhi salam, and their belief is firmly rooted in Tawheed and the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then he gives them da'wah, invites them to believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and after this, he gives the interpretation. Following the interpretation, he makes a request to one of those people that he gives the interpretation to. Now let's look at this in a little bit of closer detail. The two men that came to Yusuf alayhi salam, these inmates, they were being remanded or held in custody because of accusations of planning to kill the king by poisoning him. One was the winemaker and wine server of the king, and the other was a baker in the king's kitchen. The winemaker comes and says that I see a dream in which I am pressing grapes to make wine. The baker says that I see that I'm carrying bread on top of my head and birds are pecking away and eating from that bread. So please tell us what these dreams mean. We see that you are from people who do good. Inna naraka min al-muhsinin. We see you from amongst those who do good deeds, who are kind, generous, and very well-mannered around other people. So we are coming to you. Yusuf alayhi salam states that I can give interpretation of any type of food that comes to anyone in their dreams. Before they can get the interpretation from anyone else, I would be able to provide them with an interpretation. And this knowledge is not my own, but rather Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has bestowed this upon me. Then he gives that disclaimer that I have distanced myself from the ways of those people who commit shirk, who attribute partners to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. My knowledge has come to me directly from Allah, and He is the only one that I believe in. And this is not my newly invented path, but rather it is the path of my forefathers. And he mentions his father, his grandfather, and his great-grandfather, Yaqub alayhi salam, Ishaq alayhi salam, Ibrahim alayhi salam. He mentions them in order of their seniority. Ibrahim alayhi salam first, who is the great-grandfather, and then Ishaq alayhi salam, and then Yaqub alayhi salam. He says that this is from the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He has enriched us with this faith and this belief. But many people don't understand it, and they're not grateful for this belief, and that's why they're not able to benefit from it. He then appeals to their intelligence and says, what is better? To worship numerous gods that are scattered, they're kind of all over. They have been appointed various duties, that people think that they're responsible for. People turn to various gods for various needs. And then how do you please so many gods? And which of those gods actually has some kind of power? Is a belief in all of these deities better, or belief in one absolute being who possesses all power, who controls everything, who has everything in his grasp? And then he says, these things that you worship, these are just names. There's no reality. There's no being or deity or God behind those names. These are invented names. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not revealed any evidence about this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself has never said that these are my partners, or these are my helpers, or these are the ones that you should turn to. So after mentioning this, he says that this is the correct faith. This is the upright religion. This is the way that people should follow, but many people don't know. After this da'wah, this invitation, Yusuf alayhi salam proceeds to give them the interpretation of their dreams. So he says, one of you will serve wine to his master. In other words, the wine server who saw himself pressing grapes and making wine will be restored to his position. He will be exonerated. He'll be freed from prison, and he'll go back to his duty. The baker, however, will be killed. And the term used is yuslab, which means he'll be crucified. And this was a way that people were punished and killed in those times, where their body would be hung up on a cross-like structure, and there they would be killed. They would be tortured, and in a very painful way, their life would be taken. And you will die in that state. And after you have died, birds will come and peck at your head, just like vultures and other birds would do when they see carrion. When they see a dead animal, they will come and start pecking away at it. That is going to be your fate and your outcome. So he clarified for them which one will be proven guilty, which one will be proven innocent. This was a very delicate time. The allegations against these two were very severe. The outcomes were going to be very serious. And he was going to tell them through this interpretation that which one of you is going to be proven guilty and which one is going to be proven innocent. And he said, this matter has been destined. The matter that you're asking about, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already decreed it, and he is just showing you through these dreams. Then the one that was going to be freed, the wine server, Yusuf alayhi salam turns to him and said, when you go to your master, meaning the king, mention my case to him. Udhkurni inda rabbik. Mention me to your master. He wanted to bring the king's attention to his situation. The fact that he was put in prison, the fact that these stories had circulated, the issue of Zulaykha and her plots and her schemes. He wanted all of this to come to light, and he wanted the whole world to know that he was completely innocent and free of any type of doubtful or suspicious activity. However, Shaitan made that person forget. He did get freed. He was released from prison. He was restored to his previous job, but he forgot. And the outcome of this was that Yusuf alayhi salam ended up staying in prison for a few years. Bid'a sinin is the term that's used, a few years. The word bid'a refers to a sum between 3 and 9, based on which the mufassirin, the experts of Tafsir, have said that Yusuf alayhi salam stayed in prison for about 7 years.